Yeah, we are back, baby. Too many men in the huddle with yours truly, Alex Cheech.
I'm Shea.
Hey, I can't believe it. It's been too long, buddy. It's been almost a week. Have you been, man?
I've been doing great. I've been looking forward to this. Get back into some football. Let's go, baby.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm so excited, dude. Lots to get into today. And I know we're going to have a lot of things that we don't agree with on today's segment. So I'm really pumped up about it. We're going to get into Atlanta. Where do they go from here after firing their GM, Dimitrov, and their head coach, and Dan Quinn? We all called that move happening. Where do the Cowboys go now with Dak Prescott out 6 to 8 months? What does the team do from here? Our top 10 teams, which I know we're going to have a lot of disagreement about. But we begin today with NFL scheduling. We have a game on tonight, John. Isn't that crazy? Hey, I don't know what you have on this. I want you to start. What do you have about all the scheduling chaos that's been going on in the NFL so far this week?
So we've been hiding under a rock this week. The NFL switched like 18 schedules around. Buys were moved up, buys were moved back for certain teams. Perfect example is it's mostly Tennessee's fault. It is like literally their freaking fault for the most part. Their game against last week got pushed back against Pittsburgh, and then this week they moved on, and their game against the Bills, which is going on right as we speak, and they're like absolutely giving it to the Bills right now.
I think I like it too.
You think you're listening to Pornhub right now, not exactly, too many men in the huddle. I mean, I guess you could find too many men in the huddle on Pornhub too. We don't know. They're not sponsoring us. Screw them. Uh, but anyways, their game got pushed back to Tuesday. The Bills were supposed to play Kansas City on Thursday, and now they're not playing until Sunday or maybe even Monday now, right? So yeah, just complete mayhem. I'm getting a little worried if we get like too many more of these cases.
Are you afraid that the season's going to discontinue or something?
Just something about it. Like I'm afraid they might at some point they might start like postponing the postseason because right now they did a lot of maneuvering, and I don't know if you know how crazy it is just to make an NFL schedule and make it work with travel plans and bye weeks. Um, I know, for example, like Denver and New England, they practiced all week. They thought they were playing Sunday, and then the game got like knocked down like last second. I know a lot of Broncos players were outspoken. Melvin Gordon completely bitched about how they practiced all week. They lost their bye week. A lot of people don't think about this. You get a full week to just relax, get 4 days, recuperate. That's gone now. What do you think?
Hey, I completely I see what you're saying. I'm not saying that I disagree with you because there's nothing to disagree with. I'm just saying I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. Look, as NFL fans, we get Thursday night football, Sunday night football, Monday night football, and Tuesday night football. Trivia. I just want to know if you know this. Do you know the last time that there was a Tuesday night game played in the NFL?
No idea.
It was the 2010 season. My Vikings actually beat the Eagles and knocked Mike Vick out of the second seed of the playoffs to get into the playoffs. So the Eagles had no chance at a second seed. I'm sorry, I worded that a little weirdly, but yeah. So prior to that, the only other time that a Tuesday night game was played was October 1st of 1946. I'm loving it, dude. I want to see football every single day as much as I could. What I do agree with you on, though, is that it's all Tennessee's fault. I don't know what is going on with that coaching staff and those physical trainers, and they're not listening to any protocol. And it's like, if you agree with the situation, you don't agree with the mask, whatever the case is, this is your job. You need to follow protocol if you want to play football. And I agree with you on that part. It is Tennessee's fault, but John, am I too selfish to say that I'm loving it and I'm loving every second of it because we get football almost every day?
I mean, you have to love that part. It is great. We have, you know, Thursday. Well, we lose Thursday this week, but we have, you know, Thursday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Then we come back. We have Sunday. We have two Monday night games. The first Monday night game is on at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I seen that.
Dude, you get right out of work, like flip on the TV, watch that game. That game ends. It's almost like you get an extra Sunday on Monday because you have those back-to-back like time slots for the games. And I mean, like, Kansas City Buffalo, I think that's going to be a pretty good game. Like it, I'm ex- I'm excited. I agree with you in that sense, but at the same time, I'm really worried that I just don't want the season to get canceled. They were cruising through 3 weeks. I was like, there's no positive tests. They're very minimal. A few players got put on the COVID IR. It was like smooth sailing. And then Tennessee, like we've talked about it a few times now, they really have screwed the pooch for everybody.
I
There you
agree.
go.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're like going after dogs with their wieners, but like pretty much they they completely ignored. They told them not to come in contact. They did an illegal practice. Like the players got together and practiced on like a high school field, and it spread more. Uh, this is getting ridiculous. I think if they cause any more like pushbacks or cancellations, they should forfeit the game. They should get the loss. Like you shouldn't be screwing around the entire league. They messed it up for them and the Patriots, but the Patriots, it's only been like a few cases, but they keep popping up. Tennessee is like widespread, and it was ridiculous. Like Tennessee, I think only got one practice in this week before this game.
Yeah, and you know what? Like you touched on it. The Patriots are having positive cases. I think Cam Newton tested positive, and his status on Sunday is unknown. But the whole thing is about Tennessee is if you get tested positive, you need to quarantine, and I don't think that they're following that procedure because
Yeah.
everyone else is getting infected. So it's kind of mind-boggling to see that the whole team, no one's following any sort of protocol. So look, I'm pumped for now. I'm looking at the right now situation, and this is the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday night football games. But future-wise, I am worried. I'm kind of scared too. NFL might be in jeopardy, like you said. I think the playoffs might be pushed back if this keeps continuing. And you know what? Every team should learn from Tennessee right now not to do anything that Tennessee does regarding any sort of COVID protocol. I think we could agree on that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
Get
John.
it together, Tennessee.
Yeah, honestly. Let's segue into the Falcons. Dan Quinn is gone. We both said that it was his time. His time was going to come at some point of this year, as well as the GM. Both of them are fired. Uh, Arthur Blank, we touched on this before, just had unbelievable loyalty toward Arthur Blank's the owner of the Falcons, by the way. He had unbelievable loyalty towards Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn, um, just he hasn't been the same since the Super Bowl, the 28-3 Super Bowl at the halftime, losing that game. He made the playoffs 1 year after. It was the 10-6 year that he had after that. And since then, 7-9, 7-9, 0-5. And he started out 1-7 last year. I think it was the time for the Falcons to let go of Dan Quinn and the GM. You have too many weapons on the offense, way too many weapons on the defense when healthy. I don't know who the Falcons have been at their identity these past couple of years, but I think that it was a smart move for Atlanta to let go of the GM and the head coach. What are your thoughts on it?
So my thoughts are: we talked about Dan Quinn. I saw that coming from a mile away. We talked about it should have been done at the end of last year. Too many times coaches go on these like meaningless runs in lost seasons and they retain their job just to get fired the very next like season, like in 5 games. And honestly, they I blame this mostly on coaching. I was really shocked about Dimitrov losing his job. I actually think he's a very good GM. I think he's one of the better GMs in the league. You have to look at Atlanta and their history. They've not been a really great franchise. And he has put the pieces. We talk about how talented they are at skill
Everywhere
positions.
on the football, they have talent everywhere, John.
Yeah, like they had some offensive line issues, but their offensive line just got kind of old and banged up quickly after that Super Bowl, and they fell out of Kyle Shanahan's scheme, and that really hurt them. But they should have moved on quicker from Quinn. It cost Dimitrov his job. I think they're going to need to do a full rebuild, and it looks like they're getting a start on it. What do you think?
I love it's so funny that you said the rebuild part. I love that you segued me into that. I think that Atlanta is in a rebuild as we speak, and they just don't want to admit it. If you look at what they have weapon wise, Matt Ryan is on his last leg. He's not going to be a quarterback for much longer. I think if the Falcons do in fact get 2-3 wins this season, they won't hesitate to go after Trevor Lawrence for a starting quarterback for the years to come. I think Atlanta is just you expect so much out of them every single year, yet they fail you every single year. That's not, it's coaching, sure, but that's also team. You got to get a better team. You got to rebuild your team. Speaking about their actual team, the Falcons in 2020, this is the worst this is according to Fox Sports Bets, the worst defenses through the first 5 weeks in NFL history. The Falcons are the second worst defense through the first 5 weeks, allowing 446.0 yards per game. That's incredible. 446 total yards per game they're allowing. I think you touched on it. I think they need a complete rebuild. Statistically, worst defense, second worst defense of all time. They haven't made a playoff appearance, as we touched on, since 2017. It's already been that long since their last playoff appearance. Matt Ryan is also 36 years old. You got to look to, other people to fill in that quarterback position. I'm not too sure as to how many teams would not take Trevor Lawrence, but Atlanta's already almost halfway there. So I think they would take him if they got the opportunity or the chance. Are you on the same boat with me?
I'm with you. If they are high enough to get Trevor Lawrence, we keep talking about this, teams getting Trevor Lawrence. You have to have number one pick. You're not getting him. You do not have number one pick. He is the slam dunk, no doubter. Just hearing from coaches at the college level, NFL level, he is the real deal. I've seen him play a ton these first 3 years. He is. You need to have a number one pick. He might be one of those teams where they're too talented to get that number one pick again. Like they'll screw it up and have the fifth pick. But there are other quarterbacks. There are Justin Fields. We're going to see their season's going to start soon. But if I'm them, like Julio Jones is consistently injured. I know he's the face of Atlanta. He's a wide receiver. Trade him. See what you can get for him. I don't know how the contract's going to look right now. Trade him. Get a second, third round pick. I think because of his contract and because of his age and his injury history, I think you're going to get less than you might get similar to what DeAndre Hopkins got the Texans, but they got like screwed in that deal because Bill O'Brien doesn't know how to trade anybody correctly. But
that's why he's fired.
To do that now before the trade deadline, and then Matt Ryan, they just extended him recently. They gave him a big contract.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it's going to work. Like they might cut him. It might be an Antonio Brown situation, not on like the cray like crazy off the reservation, but like just the money they're gonna have to eat if they cut him. It's gonna be insane. I almost wonder like they just hung on too long, and after they missed the playoffs 2 straight years, they probably should just cut the cord. They could have got rid of a lot of these guys for a lot cheaper. I mean, I'm not saying Matt Ryan can't play, but it's played out. There's too many guys going to pay too much money on this team right now. I think they really need to tear it down. Like just Miami Dolphins, like they did last year, just tear it down, trade away all your good players. A lot of their good players are old.
Yep.
Anyway.
I completely agree. And they're speaking about all sides of the football. Their defense is last in the league. They have 2 interceptions on the defense. They're 32nd in points giving up. They're everywhere. The defense is lousy. The offense, you have Ridley. You're wasting his time being in Atlanta unless you want to build around him. But I don't know too many teams that build around a receiver. You got to build around a quarterback. And right now, Matt Ryan's QBR is 17th. He's behind Gardner Minshew and Ryan Tannehill. Those stats according to ESPN. Behind Minshew and Tannehill, you got to get rid of them. And again, you can't build around a wide receiver. You got to start fresh. I'm on board with you, man. I think that the Falcons need to start a complete rebuild, get everything, from square one. We also have breaking news, buddy. Le'Veon Bell was just released by the Jets. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. This just came up on my phone.
So Adam Gase, worst coach in the NFL. Yeah. He still has a job this week. We don't know how. I would keep Dan Quinn over Adam Gase. Don't get me wrong. He alienates any player that is good. I don't know what it is. He has alienated every player that is good. You may not think like Ryan Tannehill is this like great top level quarterback, but he's in that like 12 to 15 range. He's solid with a good team around him, such as Tennessee. You can win some games. You're looking at other players like they have Lamar Miller. Again, issues. Jarvis Landry, he had issues with him. He gets to the Jets. He has Le'Veon Bell. He refused to use him. I understand that the GM went over Gase's head, signed him to a big contract, but
Yes.
he's there. He's your player.
Yes.
Build your system around him. Use him how Pittsburgh did. He refused to. Le'Veon was just as good of a receiver, like a slot receiver, as he was a running back. And there's games they're given one target. So he's going to get picked up by a contender. Watch. I don't know who's going to, getting this news right now, I don't know who's going to pick him up. But
Yeah.
somebody's going to pick him up and they're going to use him right. New England?
Yeah, maybe New England. I'm seeing Chicago might be looking to grab him because I could be a better quarterback in Chicago than these two other phonies that are in there right now, and maybe they're looking to a running back right now. And Bell, it's a blessing in disguise for Le'Veon. Let's be real. You can't grow in New York on the Jets. You can't do it. We've seen so many careers just ended there. Brett Favre, if you remember, he got out of retirement and he goes to the Jets. He goes 6-10. That's not Brett Favre. He comes to the Vikings. They make the playoffs, the AFC, NFC Conference Championship. It just seems to be that scheme with this team. They just fail everyone. And I think everyone's sick and tired of seeing Sam Darnold is an absolute stud, and the Jets are just ruining his career. And now I'm seeing reports that the Jets want to trade Darnold. They don't want him going forward. They're trying to get Trevor Lawrence. And I'm just saying to myself, you're ruining this. Darnold is a good quarterback. He could grow with your organization. And am I crazy to think that the Jets ruin everyone's career? And Le'Veon Bell, I'm happy. I'm happy for Bell. Round of applause. Go to a contender. You don't deserve to be in New York.
Isn't it crazy looking at the two New York teams? They're both 0-5, but don't you feel more positive about the Giants 0-5 than the Jets? Yeah, like the Giants, they've been playing hard almost every single week. They just do not have the talent. Daniel Jones might actually suck. Oh, I might be here to admit that. But you look at the Jets, it's just such a negative, toxic atmosphere. Giants players are coming into practice after being 0-5 and are like, I'm freaking angry. I want to fucking go out there and win. This is bullshit. Jets players are just like, like they're dead. They have no emotion, no hope. If you're a Jets player, run. Robbie Anderson, Robbie Anderson has gone to Carolina. He is doing amazing down there. He's being used how he should have been used in New York as a deep threat. Like Adam Gase is trash. This guy should not be a head coach at any level, like not even high school, because he is just such a dick. Aside from being a bad coach, like he is a dick. Him
Yep.
and his like wobbly eyes, like he. I know that's like fucked up. I don't care. Like you need to get rid of him. Completely new situation, like top to bottom. That team. I like their GM. Their GM Douglas, from Philadelphia.
Yes.
I think he's going to be a good GM. You need to get Gase out of there. That guy is a joke.
Yeah, and you know what? I was listening to WF last thing about this subject. I was listening to WFAN this morning, and Geo was saying that Gase's job is safe throughout the year, so they could just go, oh, and he'll be safe. That's according to his sources. Now, I don't want to be quoted on that, but still, to have him safe throughout the year, it just shows what kind of an organization you really are. Um, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, we all knew, we both said Dak is exactly like these middle tier guys, but these middle tier guys, Matt Ryan, Philip Rivers, they got paid. I don't think we were in disagreement that Dak should get paid. I think this injury puts it on hold. Next year, they're going to franchise tag him again. The year after that is when he'll get his contract. I'm assuming that that's what Dallas is going to do. You know what? And I think, John, call me crazy if you want. Dallas is rebuilding without telling us. So if you look at their offensive line, they're getting older. They were great when Dak first got in the league. They're getting a lot older now. They're not the same as they were. Linebacker Van Der Esch, he's hurt. There's no linebacker right now. They need corners. They can't man cover for nothing. All they have is offense. They have CD Lamb that they got in the draft, and they got Amari Cooper, and the best running back in the game. I think when they drafted CD Lamb, that was the sexy pick. That wasn't the right pick. And I think that was Dallas saying to you, we're still contenders. If you're still contenders, no offense to your, well, actually, complete offense to your Giants. If you're not rebuilding, okay, and you almost go into OT against a Giants team that is clearly rebuilding, and you only win by a field. I don't care if Dalton is starting. I don't care if that. I don't care if he gets hurt or not. The Cowboys are in a rebuild mode, and it's showing. I think. Do you have any opinion on it?
I think you're insane. You are off your rocker. Yeah, I'm not feeling that at all. They they think they are contending. They are never. They will never admit that they are not contending at times. This team is in win now mode. They traded for Amari Cooper a couple years ago. They have an aging offensive line. Travis Frederick already retired, so they already lost him. I think they lost him earlier than they thought they were. I thought they had a longer time with him on their team. Uh, Zach Martin is still an All Pro. Tyron Smith, their left tackle, he's out for the season. I mean, that's a huge loss there. Just, I don't think they believe they aren't contending. They wouldn't have signed Andy Dalton as their backup quarterback. Andy Dalton is probably one of the better backup quarterbacks in the entire league. He just started for like 8 years. And as much as you want to like make fun of him, I mean, he brought the Bengals to the playoffs. The Bengals. Now they didn't win any games. I do think the last time they made the playoffs, I think he would have won if he was not injured against the Steelers. That crazy game where Burfict, they got all these like late penalties, and the Steelers kicked the field goal and won the game. Um, they need to just. I understand where you're coming from, but they don't see it that way. They picked CeeDee Lamb to contend. They thought they had the defense all right. They thought changing their coaching staff was the difference. Their defense has gotten worse. They lose Dak now. I'll talk about this a little further down the road with Dak, but that throws a huge like wrench in their plans. What do you think?
Hey, I like I said, I completely disagree with you. I think they got Andy Dalton now. They got Dalton to show you, okay, just in case Dak doesn't work out, we're gonna act like we're still contenders. Because look, the fact of the matter is, the Dak injury gives Dallas the excuse to go 8-8, to go 7-9, miss the playoffs. Oh, you know what? Dak was hurt. It's okay. When in reality, Dak was going to get you the same record. No, you're right. There is no knock on Dalton, John. As a starter, Dalton has a winning record. He's 70, 61, and 2, 204 touchdowns, 118 picks. Great numbers. And you know what is good about Dalton? This is his quote, and I got this quote from FS1 this morning. I believe I'm a starter, quote unquote. I believe I'm a starter, John. Now I can't wait to take this team to the destined land. Now I'm so psyched to be the starter and do everything I can for this organization. I believe I'm a starter. That's slim to no ego. If anything, they're gonna play not even with the chip on their shoulder, just like la di da di da. And if they get to the playoffs, fantastic. But this is the Dallas Cowboys, and the Dallas Cowboys, as of late, have not been able to impress anyone. Right? I think that this is just, like I said, an excuse for them to go 8-8, but they were going to go 8-8 whether Dak was playing or not because they're on the same playing field. Am I crazy to think that?
Yeah, I still think you're crazy. Like, I'm
Right.
just telling you, if a quarterback like Dalton, you don't go out and get him as your backup. They paid their offensive line, all of them. They have weapons in Cooper and Gallup, and they went and they drafted CeeDee Lamb. He fell to them. I have no idea how he fell to them. Like, they had to pick him when he fell to them. Like,
You're right.
yeah. So to me, I feel like they thought they were coaching the staff away. You don't go and get a former Super Bowl winning head coach to rebuild it from the bottom. I don't see McCarthy as a rebuilding coach. I see McCarthy as a come in. We already have everything set. Look in Green Bay. When he came in there, they had the receivers. They just need to update the offense a little bit and hold Favre accountable while still developing Aaron Rodgers. They had everything set, ready to go. He just came in and put his offense in, which, I mean, they are scoring a lot of points. I mean, they really are. They're putting up some points. And Dalton looked good in that comeback win.
They're
They're
also
behind the.
giving up a lot of points, though, too, John.
I'm not disagreeing with you on the. They're going to probably go 7-9, 8-8, and they will probably fall back on. Oh, our starting quarterback was out, and that's why we didn't do it. But Dallas is one of those teams like the Yankees where they can never rebuild, even when they suck. They are not really rebuilding ever. I believe they thought they're going to win the Super Bowl. Now, you and I both thought they're going to probably win the division,
Yes.
maybe win a playoff game, and they get freaking smashed in the second round by a real team.
Yep.
They are definitely like pushed up by America's perspective on them. They are very popular. They are one of the brands in all sports, not just football. That always kind of overrates them. I'm a Notre Dame fan in college football for the last like 30 years. That's elevated them as just their brand. I mean, they've had some good seasons, but same thing with Dallas. Very similar. They're just something is always off with them. This Dak injury, you're right. It gives them an excuse. If they want to back out of signing him, they have an excuse now. If they want to franchise him for another year and see what he gets, they have that. They can even offer him a short-term contract that's less than what he was asking. I mean, don't get me wrong. Someone will sign him. If Dak goes to free agency, someone's going to take a chance on him and sign him because it's hard to find quarterbacks as good as him. He is that top middle tier, but I mean, there's only 4 elite guys ever at a time.
Yeah.
He's in that next year after that.
Right. I 100% agree with that. I think, I think they're rebuilding and they just don't want to admit it, but how many more guys are you going to find like Dak? I think that they gotta sign him sooner or later. And this injury just gives them more time to think about it. All right, John, this is the best segue of the entire episode. Our top 10 teams. I have my top 10. Do you want to go? Why don't you go first so you could save the laughing? So go ahead.
Okay. Oh my God. All right. I'm gonna go top to bottom.
Okay.
I'm gonna go KC. Still number one. I know they lost to the Raiders this week. They lost by 8 points, which evidently is a huge margin for them. But under Mahomes, so I mean that's just crazy. They're still my number one team over the long haul of the season. Baltimore seems like they're starting to get it going. They're my number 2 team still. I'm sticking with Pittsburgh. They just keep winning. I mean, they're beating bad teams, but they can't do anything.
God, okay.
They don't make their schedule. They're not a college team. They're playing these teams. Claypool, like, completely blew up this week. Go Irish. Number 4, we're going to finally get into NFC. The Seahawks are my best NFC team still. Yeah, you think I'm crazy?
You're nuts. You're nuts.
Oh, man. They have the best quarterback in the NFC right now. You might think I'm nuts for saying that too. I don't care. Yeah, just let me go. Go ahead. Anyways, Green Bay Packers, they're my number 5. Number 6, I guess the Titans. Yeah, Titans are going to have to move up. Cleveland is my number 7. I really like what I see with Cleveland. I think they will probably lose to Pittsburgh this week, but they are looking like what I expected them to look like last year. Okay. And I continue to love that offense. The Raiders, who just beat the Chiefs, they're coming in at 8, baby. And then the Colts are coming in at 9. And then I have a little bias because I see what's happening right now. I'm going to still keep them in my top 10. Buffalo is number 10. Your MVP, Josh Allen, is fading as we speak.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Okay. John, I don't even know where to start with your picks. You're insane. Okay, guys, I'm going to show you a real top 10. Ready? The Pittsburgh Steelers are my number 10. All right. Their point differential. Their point differential is plus 31. They beat teams that combine 3-15-1. I just got to see a little more. They're still in the top 10. They're not number 3, but they're 10.
Defense, baby.
The Bills. All right. I'm putting them at number 9. They were my number 3 last week. I'm putting them at number 9. Look, what I like from them, they moved from an all-around great defense that we saw these past couple of years. They're putting the ball in Josh Allen's hands. They're moving to strict offense. I like to see that. McDermott is absolutely phenomenal at head coach. Bills are my number 9. Number 8, we're both high on the Cleveland Browns. All right, they're 4-1. The best start for Cleveland since 1994 when they were 6-1 under our. We love their dick riding Bill Belichick. Belichick started out that too. Cleveland's offense with Stefanski, it looks great. They got a great deal from us Vikings because we never finished first in anything. Stefanski's doing his thing in Cleveland. The Rams, I have a number 7. They're 4-1. They are the second best point differential, plus 46 in the NFC. They are number 1 in yard differential, plus 497 yard differential. They're blowing teams out yards per play. It's incredible. You're going to call me crazy. I have the Bucs at number 6. Anytime Tom Brady is on a team, they're in the top 10, they haven't moved that much from last week. I think last week I had them at number 6 too. They're going to improve. They're still in there. Number 5, I have Seattle. Seattle's 5-0. I get it. But you know what? They beat a 1-4 my Vikings by a point at home. We don't ever win in Seattle, let alone make it close. I have the Hawks at number 5. Number 4, I have the Ravens. If Seattle and Baltimore go head to head, I think Baltimore is winning this game. I just think Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson. He's that team. The Seahawks really have nothing else. Number 3, based off what we saw right now on Tuesday night, I'm putting the Titans at number 3.
Okay.
I didn't even have them on my top 10 last week, and I put them at number 3. They're number 1 in points against, and after tonight, they're definitely still number 1 in points against. Statistically, they are the top 15 in points per game, points against, yards per game, rush yards per game, and time of possession. They're top 15 in all those categories. He's the only team to rank in the top 15 in all those categories. I'm putting the Titans at 3. The Chiefs are my number 2. Now you're like, oh my God, who's number 1?
What?
So the Chiefs are 4-1. It's their first loss since November 10th of 2019 when they lost by 3 against the Titans. Okay. Not going to knock them. They're still 1-2. My number 1, and this is how you know I'm not biased, John, is the Green Bay Packers. They're 4-0, and the best team did not play this week because they had a bye week. I looked at these statistics, John. Ready? They're plus 51 in point differential, the best in the NFC. They have 0 turnovers. They have not turned the ball over in 5 games. They're the least penalized team. That's great all around. Wouldn't you say? I mean, that's my number 1 team.
Penalized? That's something that happens to you often. Anyway, penalized, my friend. We can go back and forth on this. Tomato.
Potato, right? Oh my God.
Oh my God. And the only other comment I have on your picks is I understand what you're saying about Seattle, how they barely pulled that game out against your 1-4 Vikings. But I will say, I feel like the Vikings are better than their record. They just keep losing these fucking games, man. I don't know what it is about them. Their talent exceeds what they are doing right now. Maybe they get turned around and they start to get into it. I mean, there are 7 wild cards. So there are 7 playoff spots, so they still have a chance. Like in a normal year, like you go back to last year and they started this way, it wouldn't have ended well for them. But that 7th seed, who knows? That could be a 7-9, 8-8 team. Is it impossible to think they can get there? I mean, we have a long way to go. Dalvin Cook still looks great. Your receivers, according to Thielen and Jefferson, according to PFF, are the number 2 and 3 receivers in the NFL. Pretty crazy.
But
I
we
think
have
your defense
throwing to them, John. We have
there's that too.
Yeah, that's season's over, buddy. The season's over for the Vikings. We're not going to go anywhere. And you know what? As soon as you put faith into this team, they let you down. I'm just going to go off on a 5-second thing, John. Do you understand? When I was watching the last play, and I said exactly what was going to happen, John. I said we were going to have the lead, and with 90 seconds to go, Wilson was going to take Seattle down the field and win the game. And that's exactly what happened. And look, my heart was pacing like I bet my house on the Vikings when Russell Wilson was at 4th and goal at the 8-yard line. My heart was pacing uncontrollably. That is the last time this team is going to do that to me because they're not going anywhere. I'm done. I'm sick of it. I'm all done. That's all we got, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, do what you guys got to do. Too many men in the huddle. Once again, with yours truly, Alex Cheech.
Hey.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.